I don't believe it's closely monitored. And the reason I say that is because I've asked parliamentary questions where I've asked how many tenders came in, on or over budget, and you weren't able to tell me. Do you have oversight of all tenders within the organisation? And do you have a contract management system for managing that?
So not as yet, Deputy.
I guess what's really interesting is from the statement of revenue, income and expenditure between 2019 and 2024, total expenditure rose from 17.2 billion in 2019 to 26.9 billion in 2024. So that's an increase of nearly 10 billion in 5 years. Within that, right, your non-pay spend went from 11.2 billion to 17.6 billion. So that's an increase of over 6 billion. Am I right with those figures?
Correct, that's it. The total figures are correct. I have to check the non-pay figures for you.
Okay. So I find it interesting that the CFO says he'll have to check the non-pay figures, because when I sum up that non-pay spend, that's about 89 billion across 6 years, and that's where procurement sits, correct?
Yes, Deputy, but a large part of the non-pay spend is spend going out to voluntary organisations. That's about 7 billion a year of the current 24 billion, and the primary care reimbursement service, which is another 4.5–5 billion. They're not procured in that context. So the procurable spend is more like 4.5–5 billion.
Yeah. Well, I know you have 7 billion going to outside agencies, but I'll come to that later. Given the level of non-pay spend, can you explain how you monitor and manage it?
So, Deputy, we have a devolved budgeting system. So every manager gets a budget, starting from the CEO right down to the senior leadership team out to the regions. That comprises of both pay, non-pay and income. It's set annually in line with the IFMS process and the National Service Plan. And then monthly it's monitored against, actual spend is monitored against target. It's divided between clinical, non-clinical and other operational expenditure. So
you're dependent on each manager, each organiser, each hospital to stay within the budget they're given?
Performance managing, Deputy, so the regions and the other national directors performance manage the budget management of their staff, and effectively, as I said, we now have much better central visibility, and it's improving further with the single IFMS national financial system that we have. So it's closely monitored on an ongoing basis.
Okay, well, you see, I don't believe it's closely monitored. And the reason I say that is because I've asked parliamentary questions where I've asked how many tenders came in, on or over budget, and you weren't able to tell me. Do you have oversight of all tenders within the organisation? And do you have a contract management system for managing that?
So not as yet, Deputy. That's part of one of the benefits that we will deliver with IFMS, and it depends on which type of tender that you're talking about.
Yeah. But at the moment, you can't track performance at the contract level.
Well, no, Deputy. So if you talk about tenders for ICT projects, we can absolutely track them. They are tracked. If you talk about tenders for large construction projects, they can absolutely be tracked. And they're two of the largest types of projects. There's huge controls over those and ongoing monitoring and performance management around those. So we absolutely can track all of those. A lot of the other tenders we're talking about are tenders for the purchase of consumables, where we estimate the value that's being purchased, and then we make that contract available and people buy off it. The control is whether they're operating within their budgets or not. And in some cases, people will go over budgets, and that's a matter to be dealt with through the accountability and the performance management process.